Hello. This may shake a little bit. It's on my bed and I've got it on something, but every time I move, it moves because I'm sitting on my bed, so oh well. Okay, so I will be including what I made for supper tonight at the end of this video, but I wanted to give a little update on my cross stitch. This time around, I'm keeping up with my time and how long it's taken me to do this. So I found an app that every time I sit down to work, I push the button to start the time. As soon as I finish, I stop it. And it actually has like a project thing where I can put in what project it is, so it keeps track of it. So far, I'm over 8 hours in, and I've gotten this much done. And of course, the pattern's under this because I put the stack of those. This is the page I'm working on. If you can see. So it's coming along. I thought today I'd work on the black, filling in as much of this black as I could. So I'm getting close to being done with filling in the lower section of the black, and then I got to work my way up. So it's coming along. I actually had a whole section done that I had counted up to a certain point and gone back down, and I realized it was about 5 rows off and I had to delete it all. So I did not time myself deleting all of that. I just kind of started back up a little bit until I got to the time where I would have been, and I started over the time. It was a long process, but I got it done. So what I was going to talk to y'all about, I've mentioned before, talking about my favorite cookbooks, I mentioned Dining on a Dime. If you can afford to get this cookbook and you want a basic cookbook that you can just take out, look at, and make just about anything. Now, I will say there's no chocolate chip cookie recipe in here, which I was kind of shocked by. There is an oatmeal cookie recipe, I believe. But I'm just gonna kind of go through this. There's a lot of really interesting things in the beginning of this cookbook, and no, I don't have any kind of affiliate link. I'm not making any money on this. It's just one of my favorite basic cookbooks. And now the Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, I have one from probably about between 95 and 97. No, it must have been at least 97 or 98. It was a Christmas gift, and oh my goodness, sorry, my eyes itching. This is the funniest Christmas. My mom was getting stuff for my brother and sister who were going to college, so I was at least 15. And we lived in South Louisiana, and they missed Cajun food, so she had bought a box of Zatarain's jambalaya mix. It was just a box, and she had bought a roll of summer sausage, and she didn't ever put our names on our gifts. She would put stuff out. Most of the time they didn't do it till the night before Christmas. Like, they would stay up and wrap gifts and then put them under the tree. Or we really didn't have a tree most years, so she would just put them out, and the next morning she would say, okay, this one's yours, this one's yours. She knew which ones were which. Well, this one Christmas, for some reason, she went ahead and put everything out a day or two before Christmas. And I saw one that looked like a box with the roll of meat. I knew that she had bought that, so I didn't suspect anything. I thought, well, that's either Joy's or Warren's. Not a problem. Well, Christmas morning comes, and my mom hands that to me, and I'm thinking, I don't want jambalaya and sausage. I live at home. Why do I need that? And I opened it up, and it was a brand new Better Homes and Gardens cookbook, and I about came unglued. But it was that shape. It had that rounded edge. That was such a fun memory for me. Anyway, I still have that cookbook, and I still use it. In fact, I made the jambalaya was out of that, and something else recently was out of that cookbook. But this cookbook, The Dining on a Dime, just has so many interesting tidbits to me. It does have full meal ideas, so gives you meal plan ideas. It's probably backwards for you, but let's see. Slow cooker roast with brown gravy, onions, carrots, potatoes, tossed salad and dressing, buttermilk muffins. And it has a star by each of the recipes that are included in the book. Another one here is cheese enchiladas, sopapillas, refried beans, baked or fried tortilla chips. All of those are included in this book. So things like sopapillas, it has the recipe. You can make your own. Refried beans, it has the recipe. Anyway, I don't know why my eye is itching so bad. Probably allergies. So fun. Anyway, quick dinners, it has ideas for that. But throughout all of this, it has basic pantry shopping list that you can actually check off if you want to take it to the grocery store. Now, I wouldn't actually write in it for that, but some people might want to. But it does have a very detailed list that you could write it out from there. There's a freezer guide. There's freezer tips, all kinds of really interesting freezer tips. Snack ideas, and I love this. For when the kids are in school and I need quick snacks, there's all kinds of ideas in here. And it has the page numbers. You can make your own pretzels. It has the recipe for pretzels, homemade granola bars, peanut butter snacks, bagels, pumpkin bread, banana bread. I don't do a whole lot of that stuff from scratch. I do some, but things like pretzels, I just buy the store-bought little mini pretzels, and my kids love those. If I were to try to make something like that, it would be pointless. Not pointless. They would eat it. It's just a lot of time-consuming things. If I'm going to make a bread, I'll make a loaf of bread. If I'm going to make, cinnamon raisin bread, my mother-in-law loves that, I'll make that. But things like bagels and pretzels and things, we don't do that a whole lot. That would have to be a really special thing. Anyway, so saying all that to say, what I'm going to do this week, my plan, is to go through this and actually pick out all of my meals from the week using this cookbook and try to pick out things that I already have. So for instance, right now I have 5 pounds of ground beef cooking in the kitchen. Why do I have 5 pounds of ground beef cooking in the kitchen? I'm glad you asked. Because I bought a 10-pound roll on the 1st. It's been in my refrigerator. 2 nights ago, I thought, oh, I've got that ground beef. It's going to be bad. So I pulled it out perfectly fine. I put half of it in the pot and I made taco meat out of it. Fine, whatever, right? I forgot about it. Thankfully, it was in the back of the refrigerator and it was partly frozen, so it was still good. So it's in the pot. It's cooking. So I did find one recipe in here. Let me see if I can go back to it and find it. That does look promising. Here it is. It's called Beef and Bacon Over Pasta. It has bacon, garlic, onions, green peppers, flour, beef stock, seasonings, parsley, ground beef, black-eyed peas, and cooked pasta. And it gives all the things. Now, I wouldn't put the black-eyed peas in it, but I might do pinto beans or red beans. But I have bacon in the freezer because I got some on sale and I still have bacon in the freezer. And I don't have, let's see, no, I have all of this. I have beef bouillon I could do with the beef stock. And I have plenty of pasta. So this will be something I'll probably do this week for an easy lunch the kids can take to school. I've made it once before and I really liked it. We're not really big fans of Hamburger Helper here, but it's not really like Hamburger Helper. It doesn't, you can put Parmesan cheese, or if you wanted to put some other cheese or something, you could. But that would make a really good pack lunch for the kids for school. Another one in here, let me find it real quick. There's a Mexican hamburger casserole that would be more like a Hamburger Helper style, but it's Mexican. There's beef stroganoff, a beef taco bake. I think there's a Mexican cornbread recipe in here, but that is a recipe I have my own. My husband absolutely loves Mexican cornbread, and it is something that has been just a staple in our house since we got married. So more than likely I will make that, but it won't be a recipe out of here. I don't even see a recipe for that in here. There is a Mexican casserole. I'm looking for that real quick. And I think it was 87. Yeah, here it is. Ground beef, creamy chicken soup, cheddar cheese, tomato sauce, green chilies, and corn tortillas is the Mexican casserole. But ours would be an actual cornbread mix with sweet cream corn mixed in with the mix, and then you put half of it in a cast iron skillet, put cooked ground beef cooked with onions in the middle, about a pound of cheese over that or more, because when you're doing a regular size it's a pound, but I have a big cast iron, so we used to do like a pound and a half of cheese, and then you cover it with the rest of the batter and then bake it. That is something that my entire family will eat almost that whole pan full in one sitting. And when we were using the smaller pan, it wasn't enough. So I have to, either I double the recipe or I do the recipe and a half. So anyway, I've been rambling now for a while, so I'm gonna get off of here. I'll show you the clips of the recipe of what I did for supper, not really a recipe. And then I'm gonna share my meal plan idea with you probably tomorrow afternoon. I'm gonna sit down and work on it tonight, and then we'll see. So I hope y'all have a good night, and check back with me later. Alright, so for supper tonight, the kids wanted French bread pizzas, but since I'm really trying to lose weight, instead of eating French bread pizzas, I decided to take zucchini that I already had that needed to be used. I peeled it, partly because it had some bad spots on it, so I just peeled it, cleaned it really good, and then sliced it into medium slices. They weren't super thin, but they weren't super thick either. And I ended up doing 2 full zucchinis and filling my pan. Then I topped it with pepperoni, and I just made sure I had plenty of pepperoni on there. And then when I was done putting all the pepperonis on, I just gave it a little splattering of sauce. I didn't put a whole lot because I was using the sauce to make the French bread pizzas, and I didn't want to use it all up. And I don't like a ton of sauce, so I just wanted it to have enough liquid to where it would soak into the other. I topped it with a hearty helping of mozzarella cheese, and then stuck it in the oven with foil over it so that it would not burn the cheese on top while the zucchinis were still baking. So once I had it covered with foil, I put it in the oven, and I can't even tell you how long it cooked. Maybe 20, maybe 30 minutes. I'm not even sure. We ended up taking the foil off and sticking it back in to brown it, but it was delicious. And I thoroughly enjoyed it and felt like I was eating more like a lasagna, I guess, in a way. But when I make lasagna, I definitely want to make myself this kind of lasagna. And then here's a little sneak peek of the kids' French bread pizzas. They were good. They enjoyed them.